Thank you, Sophia. We literally. Just the favourite part. I know there's
Number 11, Ryan Jones.
Because we're on the BBC, don't you know? Other than that, it's fair game. Thank you, mate.
22, Jack Barham. Number 25, Roland Mendiesi. Number 27, James Henry. Number 34.
Top man, thank you, Nick. That's perfect.
Your substitutes for the shot down this afternoon. Number 16, Matt Nash. Number 2, Lachlan Will. Number 7,
right. Don't know if we'll be able to do a two-way here or not. But don't know if we'll be able to do a two-way here or not. But hold that just in case. This is just a preview. But do you want to try and sit in your seat with it now? We'll make sure everything fits. That's it.
Number 29, Owen Mason. Number 16.
These are your headlines. Your headphones. You'll be there. Yeah, you'll be there. Put those on. You may only hear out of one. Can you hear me through them or not?
Number 23.
I can hear radio through it.
Can you? All right, hang on. Can you hear me through them? Now you can. Right, lovely.
Number 10.
Very good. Right.
Number 11, Ben Gorman. Number 4, Jake Butterfield. Number 9, Owen Aseni. Your substitutes.
So just doing a Woking preview, then they're going to come to me. Just say a couple of words, Aldershot Town FC, into your microphone for me. And again,
Aldershot Town FC.
Lovely, thank you. Perfect.
Number 49, Ollie Thompson. Number 45, Jovan Malcolm. Number 46, Dan Jones. Your match officials this afternoon, your referee is Mr. Stuart Morland. His assistant referees are Mr. Aaron Allen and Mr. Jamie Waters, and your fourth official, Mr. Simon Clayton. A few other mentions to give, and they are, as you've just been about to take up their positions, are our ball retrievers today, the Radio Ball FC Under-10s, and we also have mascots today, and they are Gateshead Juniors Whites, and they're the Under-9s. A great round of applause for both those sets of youngsters. They'll be much appreciated.
All right.
Thank you.
I can't hear them very loud. Does that matter?
No. Well, I'll turn them up a bit, but I'll try to keep it so it wasn't too annoying for you. Standing. I am, yeah. So much, thank you. Just about to go. No, it's all good. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Interestingly, in his pre-match, Tommy Widrington drew comparisons between the two sides. I think he was referring perhaps more to the way in which the teams tried to play, and not so much the fact that Gateshead are 4th and Aldershot are 17th right now. 1 win in 11. We can't dress it up any other way. But it was a happy hunting ground last season for Aldershot, of course, in slightly toxic circumstances as well, due to the rearrangement of that game and some of the emotions that were around it. I'm going to read you the Aldershot Town team, just straight from the team sheet I've been given. Haven't worked out the changes yet, just due to another issue. But Dewhurst, Maghomer, Widrington, skipper in the side today, in the absence of Aaron Jones, Josh Barrett, Ryan Jones, Ollie Scott, Ashley Akpan, Jack Barham, Roland Menayes, James Henry, and Dayan Tetek. So a little bit of freshening up. And for the first league game in 3, James Henry starts, and he's got to, right? Because 8 goals. 5 assists this season. He's the most likely creator of a goal and the most likely finisher of a goal. Shots with it all to do, with the 4th worst away record here at the home of Gateshead, who've got the 4th best home record. I didn't come to you because we were late, and I think he's pushing for time. But we're going to have 5 minutes to breathe now. All right.
I don't know what the team is. I can't work out who the...
I'm going to try and do it now. Let's try and do it between us. Let's work out how many changes it is. Barrett and Henry. So Frost on the bench, right? I got that right. I love to see how close I get. Sorry, Tim, I wasn't able to bring Nick in, but
Right back, Ash.
Sorry?
The Akban right back.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That picked itself. Theo and Hargreaves. And this will be Ryan Jones here. Ollie Scott. This is the strange one. Surprising. That's the bit that.
No Bird. So many.
Yeah. So Mag Homer and Bird. No Menezes, he's on the bench. So. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry.
There's no Bird.
No Bird.
Menezes.
Oh, he's on the Bird on the bench. Wow. Okay. So Mag Homer and Menezes. Yeah, that's the one that was throwing you out, isn't it? But Sam told me that, so.
What, Scott centre back?
Yeah, crazy.
And then that's Tetek, not Hargreaves.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, is he on the bench or not? Oh, he must have an injury.
That's you're looking at the wrong one. Is that one?
Oh, sorry. He's on the bench, right? Yeah. So yeah, only got 2 wrong, but nobody could have predicted Ollie Scott going there. Thank you.
Did Sam tell you that was the team, did he?
He gave me this. Yeah, this is the team.
The only thing I didn't know was whether he changed the formation, and he's got Scott at left back and Jones at left midfield, more at 4-4-2.
So I'm just trying to keep that balanced.
Well, I guess we'll find out when he's...
No, the one thing he told me, that's a photo from it. And the one thing he told me is that Ollie Scott's playing left centre back. Yeah. And we may be online on air now as well. Online now as well. So we're just, for those who've tuned in already, hello, good afternoon. I want you to know, listeners, especially you early birds who join us early, that we are on Plan D for getting you a commentary today, and we only came with a Plan C. Plan D was created on the hoof, and thank goodness it's worked. I've not tweeted it out, no, but I've got it. Sorry?
Can you send it? You've got it? Can you send
Yeah, I can do. It's in the normal place. Thank you, Mike Brown, letting me know that you're back for more and not taking a break for the rest of the season, as you declared in a message to me after last Saturday's game at Wealdstone. There's a few people out there, ladies and gentlemen, who can't find the link, so I'm going to send it to a couple of people now. I'm going to rely on you guys to circulate it, if that's okay. Right, I'll send it to you now, Nick. I've got Nick Brooks alongside me today, and you'll understand my decision making with that. He sat alongside me last year at this game, and Aldershot won it 1-0. Say no more. Steve Brett has now got us, which is excellent. Very good. Good afternoon, Steve. Fair to say it's been cut very fine, and we're on to Plan D, and we only came with 3 plans. And so, consequently, as the last hour or so has been quite fraught, I've not quite managed the usual level of preparation, but we'll go with it, we'll get through it, and at least we got commentary. Nick and I are propped on a couple of seats in the stand with a bit of gaffer tape across to connect us to the outer world. and we're good to go. Right, let's have a little look between you and I, Nick, at the good afternoon, Graham, at the Gateshead team. Can you see if they got given a team sheet and see if you can get one or two off them? Thank you. Otherwise I shall go to Twitter. Or get a photo. Thank you, Richard Petty, for putting the link up on ShotsWeb. And good afternoon to Colin Hayden in Tenerife, who's probably a tad warmer than us. Okay, we've got a photograph of the team sheet. That'll do for me. Oh, we've even got positions on it. Wonderful. Owen Mason in goal, number 29. Robbie Tinkler, the ex-Shot, playing. Looks like a 3 at the back. Ratcliffe, Tinkler and Hornstrop. Dom and Newton, which way will they play, left or right? Any ideas?
Probably one behind each other, one in front of them.
Oh, they've told me that they've said they're the two wingers.
He's been, I think, one's been playing right back and one's been playing like the wing.
Okay.
Scimitar with Best Life.
After they have been
put on the walkout music for the teams. Due to kick off in 5 minutes.
Oh, here come the teams at the Gateshead International Stadium. Shots in their home kit of red and blue striped shirts, red shorts and red socks. And Gateshead in their home kit too, predominantly white shirts with black trim, black shorts and black socks. And plenty of booze for Tommy Widrington and his management team. And Tommy dutifully ignores them and claps the Shots fans away to our left. They're in the same stand as us. There's only the one main stand open and difficult to estimate the numbers. Nick, any idea on the numbers over there? Can you see if you stand up? Without taking us off air?
Not really. Certainly more than there were at Hartlepool. In the hundreds.
Okay. About 100 or just over. Okay.
Yeah, 100 just over, I reckon.
Okay, Nick's going to sit down carefully and try not to take us off air. That's all good. We're balanced on some chairs in the stand, but we don't care. We're going to bring the commentary anyway, Nick, aren't we? Welcome back. Your second Aldershot Town National League commentary. And as far as I know, the only human being in the world with a 100% record so far.
I expect so, yeah. Looking forward to the game. A couple of interesting team selections. We think Ollie Scott is going to be one of the centre backs, which is unusual. Lackey Bird's on the bench. and Cameron Hargreaves, who I believe has been an ever-present when available, dropping to the bench for Dejan Tetek.
Yeah, I'll go through the team in full in just a moment. Literally, listeners, making the final notes on my commentary pad. I was up here. I got to Newcastle at 11:51 today. I was at this ground by 12:30, but it doesn't matter sometimes how much preparation you do, how early you get here. Sometimes there are issues that prevent you from providing a commentary, and I have to say, without being too dramatic about it, we're on our plan D. We only came with a plans A, B and C, and somehow, by some miracle, we're on air. It's nobody's fault individually. It's not that I'm a technophobe, but we're here and we're sat in relatively pleasant conditions. The sun was out earlier. It's fair to say it's overcast now, but they're not the darkest clouds, and it could have been colder, couldn't it, Nick?
It certainly could have been colder, and it certainly could have been wetter, as all the fans around us are reminding us after last season's postponement. But
yeah, absolutely. This game was played in a very toxic atmosphere, as you know, as you will recall last year, listeners, because of the whole rain gate and waterlogged pitch. The majority of the supporters are now in fairly good humour about it, but more like pantomime booze for the Aldershot management team as they came out. The shots are kicking left to right as we watch second half. Gateshead have the kickoff. The Aldershot team is as follows: Dewhurst in goal, 3 centre backs, and I haven't made a mistake here. This is the case. Left to right, Ollie, Scott, Christian Maghoma and Menny-Yace. Ryan Jones and Akpan, the wing backs. Tetek and Theo Widrington, the centre midfielders. Henry and Barrett playing behind Barham. And we're about to get underway here at the Gateshead International Stadium, where Aldershot have got a mixed record. They won here last year. I've seen them win 1-0 a few years ago. They lost 3-2 here on my commentary debut, and they scored that Brazil-esque goal. Gateshead immediately attacking down the right-hand side. I saw a draw when we had a late penalty save. Ball into the area, headed down by Akpan, very composed. Dewhurst picks the ball up, and Theo Widrington comes away with the ball. And it's not the easiest of places to commentate on from a recognition point of view. Obviously the athletics track not helping that. But I'm sure if I coped 8 years ago on my commentary debut here, then I'll be able to cope today. Nick has only ever commentated on Aldershot at the Gateshead International Stadium, as we just said, with a 100% record. Let's hope he can keep that going today, or at least he can remain unbeaten. 54 seconds gone, 0-0. Menny-Yace, playing as the right of the 3 centre-backs, goes back to Dewhurst. Dewhurst feels Ollie Scott, and I guess Ollie Scott in that left centre-back position, the more likely of the 3 to try and venture forward when he can, as Barrett's dispossessed on halfway. Theo Widrington comes through and catches the Gateshead number 10, Callum Whelan, a little bit late. And I think on this occasion, he's going to get away with just a free kick, Nick. But I'm going to be honest, he couldn't have had any complaints if the referee had shown yellow for that.
He couldn't.
It was deliberate. He knew he was late. It was deliberate, wasn't it? And he let him know he was there.
Absolutely, and it's something, unfortunately it's something that Theo Widrington seems to be doing a bit too often at the moment. I think we counted up before the game that he's had, I think it was 8 yellows, and for this stage of the season, it's just too many, really.
Dagenham 1, Barnet 0. Josh Umera in the first minute with the first goal in the National League this afternoon. We'll keep you posted on those scores. In possession of the ball at the moment is Owen Mason in goal for Gateshead. He's just outside the centre circle, I kid you not. Sweeper keeper. Here comes Gateshead down the left-hand side. Menny-Yace is going to get there first and put the ball into touch. And no real patterns of players yet. Gateshead having slightly more of the ball. The one time Aldershot have tried to come forward, Barrett was dispossessed. Here, Regan Booty, a former shot. Skipper in Gateshead today is going to take a throw, a long one into the box. It's volleyed away by Maghoma up towards Barham, who can't take it under control. Sharp turn by a Gateshead player. Doesn't get the ball, but he gives it back to Booty. Booty with the ball in, headed away by Ollie Scott. And again, it will only find a Gateshead player. Josh Barrett was almost onto it. 3 minutes gone, 0-0. You're listening to Rob Worrell and Nick Brooks, who is an Aldershot Town supporter who travels the length and the breadth of the country. Aldershot haven't won since that away from home since that game at Halifax. Nick, were you there that day, and have you watched many of the away games since? I know you did mention that goals have been a bit sparse in one or two of the games you've been to.
Yeah, unfortunately I wasn't at Halifax because that was one of the ones we won, if I remember rightly.
The only one.
Last one I went to that we scored a goal was Tamworth, and then I've seen a couple of defeats. 0-0 at Ebbsfleet and the 2-0 defeat at Hartlepool.
Okay, you still have a 100% record here though.
Yeah, that's what we've got to focus on
exactly.
today.
And Gateshead passing it on the left hand side. Pretty decent record here at the ground. Aldershot appealing for offside, nothing given. Ball comes into the far post, and it's over, everybody. Flicked away off the head, I think, of Ryan Jones, and Gateshead have recycled possession. They look so comfortable, so familiar with the territory here. Ball into the area from the number 11. Kane Adom is snaffled by Dewhurst, who looks for the early ball forward to Barham. Barham gets up well, actually, and wins the header in front of Hornstrup. But there's nobody up alongside him on this occasion. Henry and Barrett playing as the two number 10s again. They probably did that to their best effect away at Yeovil this season, where the shots could and probably should have been further ahead. Corner to Gateshead, some slightly frantic and, I've got to say, rather desperate calls for a penalty, Nick.
Yeah, the linesman had a good view of that. He was right on top of it and he's given the corner, so McComber must have got a touch on the ball, but after McComber giving away a penalty last week, I expect he might have had his heart in his mouth for a couple of seconds there.
Yeah, one thing that Christian Maghomer doesn't need right now is to be given another penalty against him. Calmness personified in the first quarter of the season, but a difficult few weeks for him. Got the experience, I'm sure, to move on from that. Here's Ryan Jones playing the ball up to Barrett. Again, his first touch isn't good enough to keep possession. It's been snaffled from behind him by Robbie Tinkler, played forward into a position down the right hand side, where Gateshead have still got it. Playing it inside now. Tinkler playing as the central of the three centre-backs. He's rummaging forward. He's going to try a shot. And it dips at the last minute and cannons back off the crossbar. And Robbie Tinkler coming oh so close. But Gateshead have got it again. It's squared across. Cleared away by Maghomer. And we're not 6 minutes in yet. Wonderful strike from Tinkler, which beat the despairing fingers of Dewhurst and then dipped at the last minute. We'll get Nick Brooks' thought on that effort in just a minute, but Gateshead has still got the ball. They're still on the attack. They look in the mood, listeners, and they seem to have options everywhere. It's played out wide. Can't quite see the number on the back of that guy's shirt, but it looks like it's 12. It's kept in, pulled back, shot towards goal and saved. And the only reason I'm asking is I didn't have a number 12 in their starting lineup, Nick, so that's the bit that I'm struggling with. Let's just have a little look with that.
Oh yeah, 12, Kane Adams, number 12. So
he's not number 11 as according to what I've got. Okay.
The right wing.
Yeah, so Dom, who's been doing quite a lot of good work down that right side early doors. Aldershot have barely seen the ball in this opening 7 minutes. And they got the crossbar to thank for that. What a terrific effort. Probably is, with the greatest respect to Robbie Tinkler, who's a great defender, might be the best shot I've ever seen from him.
Yeah, certainly the best shot I've ever seen from him. Yeah. Must have been a good 30 yards out. I don't think anyone was expecting a shot, least of all the defenders. Nobody pressed him, nobody closed him down. Dewhurst was beaten, but fortunately it came back off the bar. A bit of slack play there from Gateshead, and it's a throw into Aldershot midway in the Gateshead half.
And that's probably only the second time they've got over the halfway line in the opening 7 minutes. I think you come to expect that Gateshead are going to have a lot of the ball in any game of football, particularly here at the GIS. Akpan with the ball into Barrett, tries to turn it around the corner and gives it straight to a Gateshead player. And now they begin again with the number 23. Got some funny old numbers in my team sheet. which will work. 23. You're going to tell me he's
23. Tyrrell Newton.
Is Tyrrell. But definitely given some dodgy information on the team sheet with the numbers of the home side. But never mind.
Gateshead in possession in their own half. Nothing dangerous really.
Oh,
just over half.
They could be famous last words, Nick. Never say that. They're still on the attack, playing inside. Ball's given away. Sent out to the right-hand side to Barham. Barham can run one-on-one down the right side. Sends it into the area. Barrett tries a shot first time, and it just he nicks it towards goal. But it's all we could see from this angle, Nick, that it was always going wide, and that was a shame. Good burst forward, good ball out to Barham, wasn't it? And it wasn't a bad ball in from him, but Barrett, well, we know he's capable of a lot better than he's shown us in the first 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. First venture into the box, good run from Barham. Not a bad cutback, but yeah, like you said, as soon as Barrett got his foot on that, there wasn't really enough pace on the ball for him to guide it into the far post, and it went harmlessly wide.
Are you listening perhaps today, anybody? And obviously not here, but we're there in the week, Tuesday night at Bashley. Good workout in the Hants Senior Cup. Tommy Whittington went nice and strong, and they came back with 7 goals scored, which will have given a few people a lift, will have just lifted the mood. Hat-trick for Barham. Barrett doing bits as well, and 1 or 2 scoring their first ever Aldershot goal. Here's Gateshead coming down the left side with Newton, comes inside, nice 1-2, ball back into the area. Akpan
Flags up on the right.
is onto it, and it's offside anyway. The other mention for Robbie Tinkler, of course, was the rather resplendent moustache he's growing for Movember as well. That's quite impressive, and you can just see it when he turns this way. He looks a little bit like Terry McDermott back in the day, but without the full perm. Anyway, here's Tetek receiving the ball, playing inside to Henry. Henry sees a forward run from Barrett. It's through to Barham. Barham squares it. It's in the net. Is it going to count? It is. It's not been given offside. It's an Aldershot Town goal. It was a tight call. Quite a lot of people appealing for the offside, but in their first attack of the game, in the 11th minute, Josh Barrett has swept the ball home after very unselfish play. Gateshead 0, Aldershot Town 1. Nick Brooks.
Yeah, I think it's James Henry who broke down the right, got fed the ball, turned inside. Barham appeared to be unmarked in the middle. Henry's pulled it back to Barham, and I think when everyone was expecting him to shoot, he's played the square ball to his left and gave Josh Barrett the easy chance to just roll the ball into the empty net. He couldn't really miss. He was about 8 yards out, and Jack Barham's put it on a plate for him.
Well, would you believe it? The irony of that goal, listeners, is that nothing had really gone right for Josh Barrett in the opening 10 minutes, and Aldershot had barely set foot in the Gateshead half, and then Barrett sweeps home after very unselfish play from Jack Barham, and a very good set-up, a pre-assist if you like, from James Henry. And after all the early play, and I remember seasons when this happened to Aldershot a lot, Nick, where they had most of the possession, they dominated, and another team would score with their first attack. It's very rarely that it happens that way with Aldershot, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Certainly this season, we've really struggled for goals of late. I myself, before the game, the last 6 games I've been to, I haven't seen us score a goal. So,
well, I'm glad that monkey's off your back.
Monkey's off my back after 10 minutes.
I promised him, listeners, that I wouldn't actually mention that detail until Aldershot had scored, and he's brought it straight out within 30 seconds. Such a relief to you, Nick, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. But yeah, after a couple of no goals in our last 3 games, so it's good to break the deadlock so early on.
Here's Newton coming down the left, plays the ball back to Hornstrup. Hornstrup coming forward, can only see Shots players in front of him, but then he turns a nice ball around the corner to Butterfield. Butterfield back to Newton. Newton exchanges passes with Booty, and then Newton goes back. I think, in all honesty, he was aiming for Tinkler, but it was wide of him, and it went straight through to Owen Mason, who's spending the majority of the game stood halfway inside his own half. Going to update our radio listeners very shortly. Meanwhile, Gateshead have possession inside their own half. And would you believe, after Gateshead had dominated everything, possession, territory, they thumped the crossbar, Aldershot with their first cohesive attack of the game have scored. Henry, the creator, he then set up Barham, and I think after his hat-trick in the midweek for the Hampshire Cup, we all thought Barham would take on the shot, but no, he spotted Josh Barrett to his left in a position where he could just sweep home the ball, which he did. It was a tight call for offside. Certainly a lot of the Gateshead fans thought that it might be. In all honesty, Tim, we're sat just inside the other half, so it's not an easy call for us to make, but the call of the officials is the one that counts, and they have allowed the goal to stand. We're now 13 and a half minutes in, and it's Gateshead 0, Aldershot Town 1. Tinkler in possession. He's the deepest Gateshead player, outfield player, in the centre circle. Ball down the side, looking for Newton. Akpan was there. Dewhurst came out and gathered the ball anyway. And there's no better way to settle yourselves down than taking the lead, is there really? I mean, to be honest, literally until Aldershot scored, they were under the cosh for 10 minutes.
Absolutely, we've definitely settled down in the last couple of minutes. Oh.
Mag Homer passing the ball across his own final third there, and you heard the oohs and ahs from the Gateshead fans. It was fine, it found its target, many ace, but only just, and an outstretched Gateshead foot very nearly got onto it. It's a fine line between composed and giving the ball away, isn't there? Ryan Jones with the ball in, very clever little header back from Hornstrup, under pressure from Barham to his goalkeeper, and he now rolls it out short to Robbie Tinkler, and we're approaching the 15-minute mark here. Well, we've had, of course, the first goal of the game. Josh Barrett's 5th goal of the season. And I'm still getting people asking me for the links. I will share it with Michelle Ellen. But if you guys can help a little bit as well, just so I can concentrate on balancing all the kit on my knees and making sure we stay connected here via Plan D, as I've mentioned a few times now. And Dave Varney is on holiday in Benidorm. He wants the link as well. I'm sending that to him. And here is Adom down the right hand side up against Ryan Jones initially, plays the ball inside. Aldershot almost get it with Ollie Scott, but good battling from Gateshead. Whelan's got it, and now they play it through the number 16 back to the edge of the area. Gateshead now across. Aldershot almost win it. Shot comes in. Cannons off of Tetek, goes behind, and it will be a corner to Gateshead. I think it's their first of the game, isn't it?
I think it is their first, yep.
Yeah. And meanwhile, while they're setting up for that, they've taken it very quickly. They've taken it short, and it's with the number 4 Butterfield. Gives the ball to Whelan. Aldershot have got everybody back except Barrett. Now a ball to the edge of the area, and Butterfield tries to clip a ball in. It's to the wide edge of the area. Menaez is up against
too much grabbing, ref.
His man there. Booty's back in possession. Sends it out to the right hand side. Warman sends it out. Adom with the ball forward. That's too heavy. That's going to drift away behind the goal, away to our left. And 16 and a half minutes in, Gateshead 0, Shots 1. Here's Nick Brooks.
Yeah, I was just going to say earlier, until Magoma gave us that fright, but we have settled down. It was quite a nervy first 6 or 7 minutes, which ended in them hitting the bar. It's definitely calmed down a bit now. Ollie Scott's got on the ball a couple of times, which will give him a bit of confidence in his first game out there at centre-back. And it's certainly more of an even game. We've got more of a hold in it now.
More of an even game, not an evening game, depending on where you're listening from, of course. Exactly. We have had a few people from overseas. Gateshead have got themselves a free kick over on the far touchline, and the yellow card is out. And is it Ollie Scott he's waved it out, or Ryan Jones? I can't quite tell. Did you see who committed the foul?
I think it was Ollie Scott.
Okay, that's a difficult one for Ollie Scott then, already playing out of position today. Something that won't be lost, I'm sure, on Gateshead. If it wasn't before the game, they will have noticed, of course, now that he's on a yellow, so he needs to be careful. Not quite sure what the issue is with Lackey Bird. He's been superb this year. Is he just at the point where he desperately needs a rest? Has he got a little knock? I don't even know really if he took much part on Tuesday night. But here's Booty with a free kick into the area. Maghoma's got a header on. It's cleared away by Akpan as far as Tetek, who tries to flick it on further but can't. And it goes through to Newton. Newton's got it now. He's got Butterfield making a run outside of him. Plays it inside, gets a wall pass from Regan Booty. And now inside again to Booty, who feeds a Dom, who's in a bit more central position. Booty plays the ball up to Whelan. Whelan exchanges passes with Butterfield, exchanges passes with Newton. And Whelan comes forward, ball out to the left hand side to Newton. He's got the overlapping run from Launstrop. Ball comes in, headers in at the far post, up against Ollie Scott, and it was a mismatch, to be perfectly honest with you. Owen Assini with the headed equaliser. All too easy really in the build up for Gateshead, and when the ball came into the area, Ossini jumped with Scott, who's already on a yellow card, and it was a complete mismatch. Gateshead won, shots won. Nick Brooks, 19 minutes gone.
Yeah, it was. They've doubled up down the left. Ashley Akpan's closed the ball. They've had a man overlapping down the wing. Nobody's gone with him. It's resulted in a free cross to the back post, and as you said, Rob, the big centre forward at the back post on Ollie Scott. It's a complete mismatch. Nothing Ollie Scott could do, and Marcus Dewhurst got a hand to it, but an unopposed header from that distance, you would expect the striker to be scoring. Aldershot are straight on the attack though. James Henry into the box.
Yeah, edge of the box, and then a poor ball, and they've given it away, but Tetek rescues the situation. So here we are, less than 20 minutes in, and we can confirm that Aldershot will not keep a clean sheet today. There's a ball into the area, it runs loose. Brian Jones tries to send it back in. Comes off a Gateshead player and goes behind for a corner. So the Shots have now got their first corner of the game. And I don't think there's a single supporter in the stadium of red and blue that complain really that Aldershot are level, because all bar 1 minute, the first 20 have belonged to Gateshead, haven't they really?
They have, and I don't think anyone would be surprised that Ollie Scott's at the back post there against the centre forward and been out jumped. It's an interesting selection with him in there. I don't know if he's in there because of his sort of distribution down the left. He's a better outlet, I think, but it's a strange one because Lackey Bird has been playing well of late. Yeah,
Bird must have a knock, you would think. But we'll have to see. Here's Barrett with the corner. It's headed away by Regan Booty up towards Assini. A little bit of holding, and a free kick to Gateshead, hotly disputed and called for by the home fans. Somebody actually called for a yellow card as well. I think that's a little bit strong. I thought it was barely a foul. Jones heads the ball comfortably from the free kick back to Dewhurst. And a slightly inflated crowd today with no Newcastle game, but not hugely, I'm told. They don't all come flood into the Gateshead International Stadium when Newcastle don't play, because apparently the majority of Newcastle supporters are not really interested in National League football. That's what they were telling me, the chap who's worked here for many, many years before the game. Here's Shots looking to respond again. Henry coming forward. He's been dispossessed. Booty orchestrating things as he does. Just signed an extended contract in the last couple of months. Very, very much at home here at Gateshead, as is Robbie Tinkler, of course, who was here the other side of his spell at Aldershot. He's on the ball now, and he passes it to his keeper, who's further forward than he is, outside the box, and that's something we'd have to get used to. And there's no doubt at all, this is basically how Gateshead create the extra man, isn't it? By the keeper playing as if he were one of the two central defenders. It's a clever little tactic. Ball in, Butterfield goes down a little bit too easily. The ball goes behind, and he's given a corner, the referee. And I must admit, there were slightly stifled appeals for a penalty again. I wouldn't have said so myself, Nick.
No, I didn't think there was much in it, but the ref did seem to hesitate in giving that decision, which had me worrying a little bit. But yeah, certainly all the locals around us thought that was a push in the back by Tetek.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to appeal for it, the same as they would if it was at Aldershot. The Shots fans would appeal for it. There's so many people asking for the commentary link, listeners. I just don't understand it. It's in the same place every week. But I've sent a couple more out. Here's a corner in from the left-hand side, headed away by Menees, helped on by Tetek. Booty sends it back in. It's half cleared up in the air. Booty heads it back in again. Tetek gets something on it. Ryan Jones something else. And then Ryan Jones there again. Barrett almost gets there, but Tinkler sticks a foot out in front of him. Ollie Scott heads it forward. Callum Whelan will try and bring it down, and he plays it off of Ryan Jones. And I tell you what, it's 1-1, 23 minutes in. It's going to be very hard work for Aldershot Town coming away from here with anything today, Nick.
It is. You can see that Gateshead are very comfortable in possession. All the players more than comfortable on the ball. They're playing a good passing style, and including the keeper. Like you said, the keeper's often up midway inside the half, gets involved in the play. They're in no rush to get it forward. They're just keen on possession, hoping to draw us out. But so far we're holding firm. Also, just anyone. Bear with me, just an attack.
Yeah, shot from distance is parried by Dewhurst into the path of Akpan, who clears forward, and the ball finds touch in front of the away dugout, which Tommy Whittington stood just to the side of at the moment.
I was just going to follow up on Rob's point there just very quickly. Anyone struggling for the link, I know every week there is always a matchday thread on ShotsWeb, and the link's normally posted there, so if anyone's got internet access and get onto ShotsWeb, you should be able to get the commentary link.
Yeah, if you're a Stray Shot, look on the Stray Shots Facebook group where Lewis Davis normally posts it. His shots on the counter-attack. Tetek to Barham. Barham tries to get the cross in, that's cut out, and Aldershot Town have a second corner themselves this afternoon. It's already Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Barnet 1, Umera in the first minute, Carnu in the fourth. It's already Oldham 1, Tamworth 0, James Norwood with that goal. And it's already 1-1 here, and Altrincham have taken the lead against Southend as well. They're the only goals in the National League so far. Here at the Gateshead International Stadium with Nick Brooks and Rob Worrell for BBC Surrey. It's 1-1. Barrett with the corner. Maghoma meets it just near side of the near post and bullets a header out to the athletics track.
Yeah, decent run, great connection, just had his angles all wrong there.
Yeah, if he'd have been just inside the near post, that would have almost ripped the net off that header. It was that powerful. But sadly, it was about 6 to 8 yards this side of it, wasn't it? So still awaits his first competitive goal for the Shots. Christian Maghoma. He's come close on a couple of occasions, as has Dan Ellison, who probably would be playing there where Ollie Scott is today, were he not to have picked up a second yellow last week. I thought it was harsh, Nick. We had mixed opinions on it, let's say, in the pub prior to the game. We didn't all agree. Similar story with Aaron Jones' second yellow. Some had more sympathy. I had quite a bit of sympathy with him. I think he had a heavy touch and he slightly overstretched. For me, it was nothing more than a foul. It wasn't a second yellow. A couple of unnecessary second yellows, but as was said after last week's game, that and the slightly dodgy penalty that Wealdstone got were not the reasons that Aldershot didn't score. Here's Newton on the left-hand side, being shown towards the touchline. Menace puts it in. What were your opinions? I mean, we have to move on from it, of course, but there's a penalty that's very often not given, isn't it? The one on Maghoma last week.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that we have seen given, but another week they're not given. He definitely had, especially seeing the replay, he definitely had a handful of shirt. But that doesn't always mean a penalty.
Ball forward from Gateshead, one in the air by Roland Menace, headed on by Tetek, and then up in the air. Aldershot should have won something there, but they didn't, and it's come down. Whelan's got the ball. He's got the overlapping run from Hornstrop. Again, he's up against Akpan. Got away a little bit too easily before. Here's Whelan and Booty looking to wave their magic wands in the direction of the Aldershot Town goal. Menace comes, commits, can't win it. Shot parried away by Dewhurst, cleared away by Ollie Scott, just as Assini was going to pounce. And then Ryan Jones clears the ball forward out to the right-hand side, where Barrett's 1-on-1 against Tinkler. He's got support now from James Henry. Gives it back to Barrett. Can Barrett keep it in? He does. He sends it to the far post. Header down is wide from Jack Barham, when he might well have connected at the far post. And it's nestled into the side netting. And the way he put his head in his hands, I think Barham feels he should have scored, Nick.
Yeah, I think not the best angle here, but I would agree. It looked like he should have scored. Barrett's right on the byline on the right. Great dinks cross to the back post. Keeper couldn't get there, and I'm not saying he had an open goal, but he was from a very, very wide angle. But like you said, his reaction would suggest that he feels he should have done better.
Yeah, it just nestled the side netting. It would have been very close. I think the speed it came and the position he was in meant it was a difficult header. We know Jack's ability in the air. Certainly wasn't an easy chance. Here's Booty sending a ball over the top, chased by Aseni into the left edge of the penalty area. Poor heavy touch from him. Maghoma is able to clear, and they may have taken the lead, but fair to say the shots are under the cosh. Here's Cameron Hargreaves jogging back under the tunnel. He looks okay, but I just wonder with Hargreaves and Bird whether it's a matter of trying to freshen it up, but it's so difficult to take one of those three centre-backs out of this team, isn't it, without the obvious replacements available, like your Ollie Harfields and your Dan Ellisons, able to come in. Tetek in for Hargreaves is a good midfielder for a good midfielder, although, you know, the output from Hargreaves this season has been superb.
It has. I think he's had a brilliant season so far, and he's one of those players I think goes unnoticed. He does the dirty work.
Shots winning the ball on halfway. Barrett coming forward. It was Butterfield who was dispossessed. Henry up against Tinkler. Comes back. He's up against two Gateshead defenders now. He sends a cross in deep. And if a centre forward had been arriving, it would have been a good one. But it ends up quite relaxed take for Owen Mason in the centre of his own box. And then Gateshead just a bit hurried in possession in their own half. They look masterful in possession, Nick, but they do look a little bit vulnerable on the counter-attack, don't they?
They do look vulnerable on the counter-attack. Yeah, a couple of times we've caught them, most recently with that the Barham headed chance just now. And yeah, they're giving the ball away there. We've now got a throw midway inside their half, and we're in this game. It's a decent game with chances at both ends.
Long throw taken by Jones, flicked inside by Menace and hooked clear by Butterfield, and he'll find Orsini on the right touchline, almost as if he was meant to be there, and that was the place he was meant to clear it. And then a long ball down the right touchline, which just drifts with a bit of curl into touch, around about 250 metres from home, as it were. If you were running around this track, something that I'm certainly glad that I don't have to do anymore. Were you a bit of an athlete in your day, Nick? Not saying your days are over, but
surprisingly, you wouldn't think so to look at me. But
1 second, Nick. Yeah, Gateshead have equalised. It's no real surprise. Aldershot have only looked dangerous on 2 or 3 counter-attacks and a couple of corners. Other than that, Gateshead pretty much in the ascendancy. Hornstrup got away to the byline down the left-hand side, hung up across to the back post, where frankly it was a mismatch between Ollie Scott, a rather diminutive left-sided centre-back for shots, up against Owen Orsini, who duly buried the header. Gateshead level. That goal came around about 19 minutes, I think, and now we're 31 in, Tim, and it remains 1-1. Is Gateshead coming down the left again? Ball inside, hooked clear by Maghoma. Henry can't win it cleanly. Akpan wins his 50-50, but can only prod it towards Butterfield, and then Gateshead give it away again. And Ryan Jones sends it out to the left side where Barham's got it. He's scampering towards the area, but he just played a ball inside without looking, Nick, and it went straight to a Gateshead player. It was a shame. He had Henry up with him, he had Barrett up with him, and he had Ryan Jones desperately trying to make ground. Throw into Gateshead now inside their own half, but that was such a shame that Jack just didn't have a second look before he passed it inside. Yeah,
I think he rushed it. I think he just probably assumed someone was alongside him to the right. Henry was there, but Henry had pushed on a bit further forward, and the pass was just behind him. But yeah, it was another promising counter-attack.
Yeah, that's the one hope for shots, I think. I mean, obviously the game is level, 32 minutes gone. It's just that Gateshead have dominated pretty much everything. Barrett tries a first-time ball out towards Barham. Mason comes well out of his area and clears forward. It'll bounce once and find touch. Over on the far side, I remember a few years ago, they used to send the away supporters over into that stand, didn't they? But I'm not going to say it's been decommissioned, but it hasn't been needed for quite a while, has it? There's a flick on from Barham, who thought Barrett was ahead of him, but he wasn't. And Gateshead will pick up possession inside, or on the edge of their own final third. 32.5 minutes gone. Shots led in the 11th minute. Barrett sweeping home after good work from Henry and Barham. And Gateshead equalised on 19 minutes from Owen Aseni, heading in at the far post from Hornstrup's cross. Now they're coming down the right hand side, Gateshead, and playing it in through Booty, who's always available, always in space, always got a great first touch, can go both ways. Exchanges passes on this occasion with Butterfield, then he threads it out to Newton. Newton on the edge of the area, Butterfield, skips inside, feints, shoots, followed up and put into the net. Gateshead take the lead. I think it's Callum Whelan. Identity to be confirmed, it is indeed.
Whelan, yeah.
The shot came in, was parried away by Dewhurst, and Whelan was there on the spot to ram it home from around about 8 yards. 34th minute, Gateshead 2, Aldershot Town 1.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot Marcus Dewhurst could do about that. It was a pretty decent save. He could only parry it out, and it was an easy finish for Whelan. But I think the bigger issue was I'm not sure which Gateshead player it was in possession on the edge of the box, but he had too much time. He twisted and turned. No one put in a challenge. He was able to get in a free shot, and from that, Dewhurst has parried into the path of Whelan.
Well, it started so well for shots today, but Gateshead seem to be everywhere. They give the impression that they've got a couple of extra players. That's how it feels and looks, isn't it, Nick?
It certainly does down this left-hand side. Our right-hand side. The first goal came from this side when Ashley Akpan was doubled. They sort of doubled up on him and got across it. And they've often got a free man out wide on this left-hand side. On the left, we've got Ryan Jones who does his defensive work, and we've got Ollie Scott who's defensive-minded. I just feel like Ashley Akpan's a bit isolated out here because he's not getting the defensive support from James Henry or Josh Barrett, who are in front of him. I feel he's often getting caught 2-on-1.
I think it was Butterfield who had the shot. Lovely bit of a little bit of a hot step inside, and now Aldershot trying to create, and Theo Widdrington just sends the ball forward into an area where Gateshead are well positioned, and they've wrestled it back. Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Barnet 1, Critchlow with the goal, and Sutton United 1, Maidenhead 0, Finley Barbrook with the goal for them. And sadly for Shots, who took the lead in the 11th minute, they're now 2-1 down to goals in the 19th and 34th minute.
Another corner for Gateshead.
Another corner to Gateshead, whose fans are in full voice now, coming from 1-0 down to lead 2-1. And you do wonder, with Aldershot's makeshift defence and Gateshead having turned down this deficit into a lead, just what sort of a torrid afternoon they're going to have. Is another ball squared across, and a really poor miss from no more than 4 or 5 yards from Kane Adom on his left foot. All he had to do was lift the ball into the net. Somehow he lifted it over the bar, and the shots somehow, Nick, are still in the game. It probably should be beyond them.
Yeah, I was just thinking then that 2-1 down, Gateshead are back in control of this game. We had chances in the break, but we can't afford to let in a third goal before half-time. Really bad miss there from inside the 6-yard box, but it was terrible defending. A short corner out here on the right, nobody closed him down, and he just dribbled it in from the corner flag and played a ball across the face of goal.
Ball goes down the touchline, just stays in play, and then Booty sends it back down the touchline, and it definitely goes out of play. And Aldershot will have a throw pretty much in front of where Nick and I are sitting, just a few yards to the left of the halfway line, directly behind Tommy Widdrington, actually, who in terms of the athletics track is probably about 50 metres from home. I think even he in this day and age could probably do that in a few seconds, eh, Nick? Might pull a hamstring or a calf, like I know I would if I ran that fast.
Yeah, probably, especially in this cold weather.
And Ian Morseman is about 20 yards from home, so I dare say he could get there by half time. Love you, Ian. Right, 37 and a half minutes gone. If you dared to dream after 11 minutes and went for a little nap, you've just woken up. Here's the bad news: the Shots are now 2-1 down to the Heed. Goals from Oseni and Whelan after Barrett's 5th goal of the season. Gateshead on the attack again. Good ball inside. Orsini involved. They're going through the gears now. We're seeing the best version of Gateshead this afternoon, as I suspected we might. Butterfield tries a ball in. That's easy enough for Akpan to cut out. Booty can't get onto it, but Hornstrop's pounced. And
the ball's not falling for us up front now, is it? We had a few promising breaks earlier. Now we just don't seem to be able to hold on to it up there. We're getting it forward and it's coming straight back every time.
Yeah, I think if Aldershot can pick the right passes, they've got the quality in the passing of Barrett and Henry. The quality of the passing is going to need to be exceptionally good, because what they haven't got is players who can run around and shut down and press. Is Whelan to Orsini, tries to go past his man into the area. Menace blocks, and the ball finds touch. It's gone to the home side, Tim, and it's gone with the flow of play. On this occasion, it was Jacob Butterfield dancing feet on the edge of the area, then he eventually made room for a shot. Dewhurst saved that well enough, but he parried it into the path of Callum Whelan, who gleefully smashed it home from 10 yards. Since then, Kane Adom somehow managed to lift the ball over a virtually empty net from about 5 yards. Otherwise it would have been 3-1 Gateshead, and I suspect game over. We are 6 minutes from half time. Still a bit of hope for the shots on the counter-attack, Tim, where they do occasionally look dangerous if they can find the right pass and finish as they did in the 11th minute when they took the lead. It is Gateshead 2, Aldershot Town 1. Here's Theo Widdrington clipping the ball into touch just inside his own half. Gateshead have got some sort of policy of balls spread all around the pitch, every 20 yards on cones, ready to throw straight back in. They want the ball in possession as much as they possibly can across the 90 minutes, and I think we know why, don't we?
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea. With the size of the running track, especially behind the goal, the little ball boys could take a couple of minutes to
good ball in from Barrett, finds Barham, who can't get the ball under control, but he does at the second attempt, sends it out to the right side to Barrett. Barrett tries a left foot shot, that's blocked, comes as far as Barham. He steers it back to Tetek. Shot's now got great Gateshead briefly on the back foot, and Theo Widdrington shoots from fully 30 yards and he drags his shot wide. I don't blame him for having a go there, Nick. He possibly could have gone out left to Ryan Jones, but he had a go and was just off target.
Yeah, he had a go. He had a lot of space. He had a clear view at goal, so you can't blame him. But I don't think the keeper was ever in trouble there. He dived to his right. I think he had it comfortably covered.
Oldham have gone 2-0 up against Tamworth, and I don't feel this quite like you locals do, but there's one thing that's more annoying for Shots fans on a day when they're losing 2-1 is Woking going ahead. They're 1-0 up against Boston. Ward with the goal there for Woking. I think Aldershot started the day ahead of Woking by a place or a point or something like that. As it stands, they will be leapfrogging the Shots and perhaps one or two others, but we've still got half a game and a little bit more to go. Perhaps we'll see a change at half time or soon after. Tommy Widdrington's not a big one for making half time changes, but he's not only got Orsini matching himself up against Ollie Scott, as you would if you could pick a defender to stand against, but Ollie Scott is on a yellow card as well, so really difficult ask for Ollie Scott today, and I'm pretty sure Tommy Widdrington wouldn't have done it unless he particularly needed to. Is a cynical foul from Mag Homer. He's going to get shown yellow just on the edge of the penalty, on the edge of the centre circle on Whelan. Gateshead have got a free kick, and here with his thoughts, which I think will confirm mine, is Nick Brooks. Very briefly actually, because Gateshead are now giving it away, so come in with your thoughts on that Mag Homer yellow card.
I don't think he'd have any complaints. He was comfortably beaten, and he just quite cynically pulled him down, so yeah, I don't think it's one he can complain about.
Well, Ellison, Gateshead almost given it away. They did well again. The keeper comes to save the day. James Norwood incidentally got Oldham's second goal as well as their first, and one or two worrying moments for Gateshead in front of their own goal, but only because they just leave so few players back there, don't they? Mason is undoubtedly playing the majority of the game as a sweeper. Altrincham are 2-0 up against Southend. I'm just looking at my little tally of yellow cards, and Aldershot should next week, Nick, have Ellison back after his 2 yellows. I don't know about Aaron Jones. He got 2 yellows as well, but it was his second red of the season, so he may get a 2-game ban. But by my reckoning, they'll be without Christian Maghomer, because I think that's his 5th yellow card, according to my tally anyway. So whether Aldershot's defensive issues with getting 3 centre-backs out there will get any better. Good work from Booty, but his ball forward is cut out, and Theo Widrington spreads it out to the left-hand side, where Barrett chests it down, but straight into the path of the number 16 Ratcliffe. He bombs forward, sends it out to Oseni. Ebbsfleet have had a player sent off, Jez Davies, just before half time in their game. Meanwhile, Gateshead have kept the ball but gone all the way back to their keeper, and now played it forward again. Ebbsfleet are at home to Solihull Moors. Newton's got the ball on the left side, gives the ball to Whelan. Whelan with the ball into a pocket of space that's quickly filled by Warman. Warman in possession now, wants the movement around him again. They've got in down the left. Newton with a cross. He looks to hang it up to the back post, thinking Assini against Scott, and Assini had run to the near post and brought Scott with him, and so it just drifts right the way across the pitch and out of play for a throw into Aldershot in the left back position. And it's a shame to have to say it, Nick, after Shots took the lead on 11 minutes, but half time can't really come soon enough for them.
No, definitely not. I feel like we're at the sort of last 5 minutes. Without Gateshead creating any massive chances, it just feels like we're a bit on the ropes here, and every attack they're dangerous. They've doubled up again on us down the left just there. Still lack of support from Akpan from in front of him, which has meant Maghomer or Menies are getting pulled out of position to try and cover him. Yeah,
here's Newton. 2 added minutes, listeners. We've just hit the 45-minute mark. And Jones battling against a Dom into the penalty area, and that shot's worse than his first one. Would seem to be the only thing missing from his game is the end product. He certainly looks really, really mobile and really tricky, but he's done Aldershot a favour there by blasting it way over the goal and wide. And Dewhurst has retrieved the ball now, and we've got some 90 seconds or so left of the first half. And I wonder, hopefully between Tommy Winton and his management team, he can see how Gateshead have set up and what they're doing, and hopefully he can do something about it, Nick. I mean, we don't know just how fit and available Lucky Bird is, but you'd want him on into that back three if he could possibly get through half a game, wouldn't you? Just because it's a very difficult ask for Ollie Scott, who, other than the mismatch with the header, has competed bravely, by the way. His one missed time tackle for the yellow, and then he couldn't beat Assini in the air. He's by no means had a bad game, but those are the margins that separate the sides, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. Although he got beat for the header on that first goal, it's hard to blame him, because when you are coming up against someone so much bigger than you, you are pretty limited on what you can do. But like you said, Tommy rarely makes changes at half time, but if Bird is fit, I would consider it, and I'd also be tempted at some point in the second half to look at Cameron Hargreaves or Tyler Frost just to try and get a bit more energy in the midfield.
Yeah, his Booty pinging the ball out to the right hand side. Dom's showing good strides to get there. He takes it by the corner flag, just touches it cleverly off of Ryan Jones to win the throw in. I mean, it could be tactical, the reason Scott's out there. Maybe Tommy Whittington thought he needed pace and mobility more than he needed physicality. Maybe he thought that between them, Maghomer and Menies could take care of Assini, but Assini matched himself up against Ollie Scott when it mattered, and he buried his header. That brought the sides level. Whelan followed up a parried effort, saved by Dewhurst for the second. All after Josh Barrett had swept Aldershot home into the lead in the 11th minute. As you can tell from the applause around us, the half-time whistle has gone, and so it is Gateshead 2, Aldershot Town 1. And here with his thoughts on the first half is Nick Brooks.
it's not been a bad half. Gateshead have definitely been the dominant team. They've dominated possession. They've had the better chances, but we have looked dangerous on the counter-attack. Obviously, Josh Barrett's taken his chance. Jack Barham had another good chance. We have had other chances, and at 2-1 we are still in it. I think, like I said just now, I definitely at some point early in the second half would consider getting on Tyler Frost or Cameron Hargreaves. I just feel like we could do a bit more energy in the midfield and a bit more of a link from the defence to the forward. We've got a few long balls going up, and the James Henry and Josh Barrett, as good as they are on the ball, they haven't got the same mobility.
All right, thanks, Nick. We'll sorry about any abusive shouts around us. They can't even be for the Aldershot management team yet, because they're still having their little meeting by the dugouts. The team's gone in.
It was the officials coming off. It was.
Because
I don't know what they've done.
Are they still harping back to the first goal? I don't really know, to be fair, how any of us sat here can have a strong opinion on the offside, because we're at the wrong end of the pitch, aren't we? But nevertheless, full credit to Gateshead. They dealt with that blow. They've come back into it. They lead 2-1 at half-time. Martin Mosley has confirmed what I suggested, that Mag Homer's now got 5 yellows, as well as his red, so he presumably will be suspended for the next league game, which is next Saturday at home to Altrincham. Thank you very much. Altrincham, as it stands, 2-0 up against Southend today, and once again Aldershot will play a side. The basic rule of thumb is, Nick, most weeks Aldershot either play a side that have come into really good form, a la Wealdstone last week, or one that's just got rid of its manager.
Yeah, I was going to say one that's just got rid of their manager, because that's certainly happened a few times. Even at Ebbsfleet, everybody beats Ebbsfleet, and when we play them they change their manager and they get a draw against us. But no, fingers crossed, like you said, if McLean is suspended next week, that we've got some of our other defenders back. I'm hopeful that Bird hasn't got an injury. I feel like if he had an injury and he wasn't fit to play, then he probably wouldn't be on the bench, but maybe he's just needs a bit of a rest, or not fit for the full 90 minutes, but he's out there warming up now with the other guys. Yeah,
sometimes there's going to be a bit of soreness, bit of tightness, and they don't take any chances, so we'll wait and see. Going to do a half-time report to radio, and then we'll take a little break, listeners. We had a pretty fraught build-up to the game today, so a cup of something hot is required.
First of all, the 50-50 draw has been...
I do indeed, Tim. It is 2-1. I don't think half-time probably could have come quick enough for Aldershot. Fair to say they've been outplayed in the first half, and they won't be, of course, the first team to be outplayed by Gateshead, who are a quality side, of course, finished in a playoff position last season and weren't able to take their place in it due to matters out of their control to do with the stadium. A reminder that the Shots took the lead in the 11th minute. Josh Barrett sweeping home his 5th goal of the season, but a header from Orsini and a 10-yard follow-up from Callum Whelan has turned things around, and but for some wayward finishing by Kane Adom, Gateshead could be further clear and perhaps done and dusted. But the Shots will hope for a little bit of counter-attacking prowess and maybe a change or two from the bench in the second half to try and see if they can nick something from this one. But at half-time they trailed him by 2-1 to Gateshead.
PJ, I can't believe this. PJ's 21 this coming Thursday. That's a happy
Absolutely.
Lots of love, son. I can't believe that one. Brilliant. Happy birthday, PJ.
Okay, listeners, we're going to. There's no change to the other scorelines in the National League, so we're going to get a good 10-minute break now, and we'll be back with you as soon as possible.
Yes, just to confirm that Rochdale game from Gateshead returned GIS.
Welcome back, listeners. Just to let you know, the teams are on their way out for the second half here at the Gateshead International Stadium. I'm Rob Worrell, and alongside me is Nick Brooks for BBC Surrey. Sport, maybe the BBC Sport app. And we've had a change for Gateshead. And as we get our pens and pencils on our book, Nick might be able to confirm, if you got the team sheet up and handy, who the number 14 is who's come on for Gateshead.
Yeah, I'll have a go at it. Number 14 is Jean Bellahuan.
Have a go at it. Is that, now I see. I didn't mean to stitch you up there.
Number 14 there. You might have a better go at it than me.
Bellahuan, yeah. Jean or Jean? Bellahuan, the number 14. And yeah, interesting as Aldershot get back underway, kicking now from right to left. And Gateshead in the mood, are quickly going down the right hand side with a Dom. Squares it, cut out by Tetek and played forward. A good ball up to Jack Barham, who gets it under control. And Aldershot send an early ball forward, straight through the middle. Going to go all the way through to Owen Mason. And Tinkler will begin the creation of play from halfway inside his own half. And I'll run through the shots team in just a minute. 2 players of which are on yellow cards, and they are 2 of the 3 centre-backs, Scott and Maghoma. Good bit of skill from Ryan Jones there, just holding off a Dom as he shepherded a ball behind his own goal. Dewhurst will take the goal kick. And yeah, that substitution for Gateshead. And just trying to confirm which one of the Gateshead players have gone off. I think it's the number 16, is it? No, Honstrup.
13, John
Bellahuan. John was the way that the announcer pronounced it, wasn't it? He's the number 14. He's replaced Brandon Horstrop, who actually created the first Gateshead goal. Aldershot are giving away a throw on the right hand side of their own penalty area. Gateshead have taken quickly. And they thread the ball across the middle. There was a few woos to our left because they nearly gave it away. Now they clip a ball up, and that's cut out by Akpan, who heads it towards Ratcliffe, who heads clear, gets the knockdown back to him. So 47 minutes gone. Gateshead 2, Aldershot Town 1. As soon as the ball goes out of play, I'll run through that shots lineup for you. Here's Butterfield on the edge of the Aldershot final third. Threads a ball into a Dom. Nice take, nice turn. Shot comes in. Menayace goes to ground and deflects it behind. Probably the first shot Kane Dom's got on target. If he'd got his previous 2 on target, this game could be done and dusted. Corner to Gateshead, and I think it's their 3rd of the game. Heed Army shout the home supporters. Take the corner short. Whelan's on it. Tries the ball into the penalty area. Is well cut out by Tetek. And Tetek now clears forward, but only straight to the feet of Booty. Booty just keeps it in, plays the ball off of James Henry, and it goes into touch. Let's give you that shots lineup. Excuse me, listeners. Dewhurst in goal. Ollie Scott on a yellow card. Maghoma on a yellow card. And Menayace, the 3 centre-backs. Ryan Jones and Akpan, the wing-backs. Tetek and Theo Widrington in the middle. Henry and Barrett playing behind Jack Barham. Gateshead go all the way from back to front, from one keeper to the other. Dewhurst has got it, and he drops it at the feet of Maghoma, who feeds Ollie Scott, plays the ball inside to Theo Widrington. Difficult one for him to control. Gateshead have pressed and won it back. Booty into Asani, coming together. No appeals on this occasion for a penalty. To me, that still wasn't, but it was as much worth appealing as the other 2. Nick, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, it was probably, like you said, as much of a penalty as the other 2 were, but I don't
as
think
in not a penalty
really. But But yeah, they've certainly started the second half brightly. Gateshead. The second half started as the first half did, with them in the ascendancy.
Is this a surprise scoreline? I don't know. Dagenham been going pretty well, but it's Dagenham 3, Barnet 1. And Barnet, who've dropped off the pace a little bit of late. York City, of course, are the ones in the ascendancy at the moment. And Wealdstone have taken the lead against Rochdale through Max Kretschmar, who, it's fair to say, thoroughly enjoyed the win against Aldershot last week. He was presented with a gift of a goal in the dying minutes to seal the deal, after, quite frankly, being a nuisance for Aldershot in the afternoon, but missing a couple of chances before that. Took a great deal of excitement from his celebrations, as did the likes of Jack Cook and not Josh Casey. I watched him in the week, didn't I, playing for Slough, where Franny Amati was also playing, and Goddard, and of course our very own Scott Davies. He's always going to be our own, right, Nick?
Absolutely, always will be after that goal.
What a record Slough Town have. 1 defeat in 33 home games. Terrific. Saw them beat Dorking 3-2 in the week. Here's Butterfield on the counter-attack, and Aldershot have won it through a combination of Maghoma and Widrington, and they've fed Tetek. Tetek strokes it to Akpan, who plays a lovely switch of play to get Theo Widrington going through the middle, and he gets Ryan Jones going. Ollie Scott's bursting forward. Jones has been dispossessed by Kieran Adam, do really, really well. He's fed Booty. They just seem to know where each other are, the Gateshead players, wherever they are on the pitch. And Booty battling away with Jones. The ball ends up in touch. Widrington. Tommy gives the ball back to the substitute, Balohan. I think I'll just call him John.
Yeah, I think that'll be easier.
Johnny B. Heat Army is the cry. And there is a decent 100 or so Shots fans here. They're quite a way to our left in this main stand, in the one and only stand that's open today. You're not likely to pick them up really on our sound effects microphone. You could say Heat are singing when they're winning, because it wasn't like this at the start of the game or when they were 1-0 down, was it, Nick?
No, it wasn't. We heard from them a few times when they appealed for those penalties, but not singing like they are now.
Aldershot building inside their own half. Exchange of passes, 3-4 of them. Now Maghoma plays it to Ryan Jones. He can't control it. It's played forward by Kane Adom, but into touch. Aldershot have a throw on halfway. Ryan Jones is going to take the Gateshead side. If you want to hear that, listeners, I'll give you in just a moment. Ryan Jones has been given a free kick when it looked like Aldershot's throw. It's on halfway, out by the left touchline. Owen Mason in goal, or sweeping, where he spent most of the day. Jean Ballahone has come on for Hornstrop in the second half. Ratcliffe and Tinkler, the three centre-backs. Kane Adom on the right side of attack, are wide, and Tyrell Newton on the left. Booty, Whelan, Werman and Butterfield, lovely combinations in the middle of the park. Behind Owen Orsini. Here's a ball in. Menier's heads it down, but he's offside. And it'll be a free kick to Gateshead on the edge of their own penalty area. Good to see Menier's getting forward, Nick. Scored his first Shots goal, I think, in the week in the Hampshire Cup. He definitely scored. I'm just questioning whether it was his first or whether he got one last season.
Yeah, I think it might have. I don't remember him getting one last year, but I may well be wrong. I remember we had him on loan last year. He was doing well. Walsall recalled him, and I think he scored for them in his first game back, but I don't recall him scoring a goal for us. Yeah,
it was a 1-1 draw, that, and the one headline we didn't see, because it didn't suit the narrative, is that he'd given away the penalty that the opposition scored in that 1-1, but he'd scored the goal as well. I mentioned that Dagenham were 3-1 up against Barnet. Also Ebbsfleet were down to 10 men at home to Solihull, and they're now a goal down as well. Solihull Moors scoring just 3 minutes into the second half. Shots have a throw in their own half. Akpan and Tetek exchanging passes, then a flick on from Barrett, hooked forward by Gateshead, taken down nicely by the Score of the winning goal as it stands, Callum Whelan. He thinks he's fouled. The ball's ended up in touch. No foul, but it is a throw-in to Gateshead. We're in the 55th minute, halfway through it. Great dummy by the referee. Allows Warman to come forward on this right-hand side and feed the ball to Kane Odom. He's lovely bit of skill to turn inside Jones, but Jones gets a foot in. Warman reacts first, though, to the 50-50, and Gateshead have won it back. And they've got it with Butterfield now. Butterfield tries the ball forward. That's cut out by Ollie Scott. And he hooks it forward. Booty will jump with Henry, will he, here? No, stands out of the way and lets Radcliffe go up. Now Henry competes for a 50-50, but he only toes it into the path of Warman. Warman approaching the edge of the Shots penalty area. Plays it out wide to Adom. And Gateshead, not probably so much thrust about them in the first 10 minutes of this second half. They're probably aware, delicately balanced scoreline. Here's Barham winning the ball, and then I thought fouled. But a free kick given the other way, Nick?
No, I think it was just
a throw-in given the other way.
I think he had a case for it. I think Barham had a case for a foul there. It looked like he got to the ball first. But
he did. He got there first and then got taken. But the referee quite close and quite decisive. Barham running around, shutting down the likes of Butterfield and Bellahun. Aldershot pressing one out of possession in midfield, and they've won it now with Ryan Jones. Ball's inside to Tetek. Tetek in a little bit of space. Sends it out to the right hand side for Akpan. Akpan sends it in. Can Henry get there? He goes down. Follow up. Into the net from Jack Barham. And the Shots have profited again on the counter attack. And somehow they're level in this game. 56 minutes gone. Great little ball forward from Tetek. Akpan steering the ball into the area. Henry, a defender, and the keeper all went in together. The ball broke loose, and there was Jack on the spot for his 5th goal in a week. Gateshead 2, Shots 2. Nick Brooks.
Yeah, another great break there. Tetek carried the ball sort of 10-20 yards from halfway. Saw Akpan in space out on the right. Great ball out to him. A really good cross from Akpan. Like you said, the keeper looked like the keeper got a hand to it, but he was in a bit of a melee with the defender and Henry, and the ball's just fallen to Barham. He's stayed calm and just slotted it into the near post.
Chucky on the spot. Jade and the lovely 2 children of Jack Barham and Jade come down off the ceiling. We need a winner yet. He's not done. His work is not done. But he's in Jack Barham style goal scoring form now, isn't he? The hat-trick in the week just to keep his tally flowing. Hampshire Cup it was only, but for strikers, you can't underestimate what hat-tricks do for their confidence, Nick.
No, definitely not. It's really good to see him getting some game time and getting on the score sheet. He had a niggly injury, didn't he, at the end of last season, missed a lot of the pre-season, and then at the start of this season, he was a very stop-start. But it's good to see that his injury's cleared up and he's getting some game time, and now he's getting some goals.
He is indeed. I love, as Akpan and Tetek both did so well, and then as it came into the penalty area, literally Mason, a defender, and Henry all got there at the same time. I think they all tried to make contact with it. The ball squirmed loose, and Jack Barham was first to spot. Frantic stuff at the minute with both sides squandering possession, being well pressed by the other. The ball's into touch. Throw into Gateshead, which I think they're going to get away with taking. Oh no, they're not. Yeah, they are going to get away with taking it about 10 yards ahead of where it was. No, the referee's pulling him back now. As the ball boys, they're not called ball boys anymore. I mean, that is a boy, and he is fetching the ball. I'm trying to think what they're called. Ball retrievers? I don't know what it is now. But anyway, puts that one back on the disc so that if any ball goes out, there's always one available within 20 yards. Adom goes down. Barrett and Jones look dumbfounded, but the referee gives the free kick, and it's by this right-hand touchline about halfway inside the Aldershot half. Theo Widdrington stayed to continue the argument with the referee. The referee, I'm guessing, Nick, says to him, shut up and go away, or words to that effect, and eventually that's what Theo Widdrington does.
Yeah, probably. He hasn't had his daily booking yet, has he?
He hasn't. I think we got him on 8 for the season. He's probably 2 away from another suspension. Meanwhile, Gateshead pegged back here to 2-2. I've got a free kick in on the hour as we approach the hour mark into the area, headed away again by Mag Homer. Halifax have taken the lead at Yeovil through Florent Hottie. And ball hammered across the Aldershot town goal and put behind for what will be Gateshead's 4th corner of the game. Solihull Moors have taken the lead, doubled their lead, at Ebbsfleet, and Braintree are 1-0 up against Fylde. Exactly an hour gone now as this corner comes in from Butterfield towards goal and wide. Off an Aldershot player by all accounts, because our referee Stuart Morland has given another corner to Gateshead. I've put a tally through the gate of my Gateshead corners. That's their 5th now of the game. It's taken short to Butterfield. He's on the edge of the penalty area. Booty tries to send it back, and James Henry clears it forward up to Barham, who holds it up, threads the ball into the path of Tetek. Tinkler clears it away. Aldershot win the header and it falls to Booty. Bit of desperation, a bit of intensity, a bit of urgency required by the home fans, who feel their team have been the better side today, but they have no lead. They're 2-2. Another period in which both sides are squandering possession. Would you believe it, Tim? The shots are back in it. They're back level. They're on the attack now as well, as Barrett sends a ball in. That's going to go all the way through to Owen Mason. I'll tell you about the goal. Tetek back in the side, picked up the ball on the left side. He moved into a bit of space in the middle of midfield and threaded a nice ball out to the ever-willing runner that was Ashley Akpan. Akpan then played a low ball into the heat of the penalty area, at which point Mason, the Gateshead goalkeeper, a defender, and James Henry all arrived at roughly the same time. I think they all tried to make contact with it. The ball squirmed loose and Jackie Barham came pelting in from the edge of the area and smashed it into the net to put the shots level. That goal came in the 56th minute. We're now in the 62nd, and the home side supporters doing their best to rally their troops. Aldershot, as it stands, on the verge of bringing back a precious point from Gateshead. Not many teams do that, Tim, but but I was going to add 28 minutes to go plus added time. I mean, Nick, positives. Aldershot have always been in the game, despite not enjoying much possession, and you've seen them score 2 goals away from home. And here's a ball out to the left, which Newton should get on, back onto his right foot, comes back down the line. We'll get Nick Brooks' thoughts in a minute. Booty sending it in, it's cut out by Menezes, and he finds Theo Widrington. Widrington sends a ball out to the left, where Bellahorn can only head it into the path of Ryan Jones. Jones now plays it up and into the feet of Jack Barham. Sharp turn from him. Tinkler dives in a little bit dangerously on Barham there. I think he's going to get a yellow. The card is yellow. Now, I think he fancied he'd get the ball, Nick, but he flew in out of control, and he can have no complaints at the yellow card for me, Robbie Tinkler.
No, I'd agree. It wasn't overly malicious, but yeah, he didn't get the ball. He brought him down. I don't think he can have any complaints. Looks like the shots bench is shaped up for a substitution as well. I think Cameron Hargreaves, I believe, has stripped down, and I think I've just seen Dayan Tetek's number on the 4th officials board. So yeah,
Tetek hasn't played much in the way of any 90 minutes, has he, for shots? He's done well today, and Aldershot have been able to keep Hargreaves to come on. It's good news that he's not injured, even though he's on the bench. Ball forward, offside given against Aldershot from the free kick. I don't mean to sound too harsh, Nick, but Aldershot Town don't get too many attacking free kicks, and they do waste a lot of them. There's a silly offside. I mean, I don't know who it was. I'm not looking to attach blame, but we're going to see Cameron Hargreaves then on for Dayan Tetek, who's played his part, and I don't know a single Aldershot Town supporter who doesn't like to see Dejan Tetek out there on the pitch for Aldershot Town.
No, another one, like I mentioned earlier, Jack Barham had a frustrating season. Tetek's had a frustrating career at Aldershot. He's brilliant when he's fit and he's playing. He's brilliant, but he's just been dogged by injury after injury. But it's good to see him out there again, having a little run of games, because he does offer us so much.
Josh Williams has also come on, the number 28 for Robbie Tinkler. Tinkler's just been shown yellow, I beg your pardon. And that was a very immediate decision to take him straight off, wasn't it? I mean, he might have been coming off anyway, Nick, but here's Mag Homer firing the ball away from trouble and into the midriff of Tommy Widrington on the touchline. Hence a few cheers from the home faithful who enjoyed that moment. Since Ebbsfleet went a goal down, as Meunier heads back to Dewhurst, and it just gets there. Since Ebbsfleet went a man down, they have conceded 4 times now to Solihull Moors. 4 goals in around about 15-20 minutes. So Solihull Moors back on track, as are Altrincham. Here's Ryan Jones volleying a hopeful ball forward. Jack Barham scurrying onto it. Is he then pulled down? No, says the referee. Got to say, I think he went down a little bit easily. He was a little bit isolated as well, and I think he might have thought this would be a good opportunity to try and win a free kick.
Yeah, I'd agree. I reckon he had that in his mind. If he had got the ball, he had no support at all. I think I'm probably jumping ahead again here, but I've got my eyes on the Aldershot bench, and I think I've just seen Tyler Frost stripping down as well, so he could be the next one on.
Made a slight mistake earlier. I got a bit carried away saying Jack Barham had scored 5 goals in a week. Of course, it's 2 weeks since his goal at Bradford, and Aldershot didn't score any last Saturday at home to Wealdstone, where they lost 2-0. So it's 5 goals in 2 weeks. Here comes Bellahorn over the halfway. They come now through Booty. And Gateshead not been at their cohesive best in this second half. Fair to say, would you agree, Nick? 21 minutes into the second half, it's been pretty even. Obviously, Aldershot are the only team that have scored, but it wasn't Tinkler that came off, by the way. My mistake. So I need to work out who that was that came off when Josh Williams came on. Who? Hornstrop. Thank you. Here come Gateshead down the left-hand side. Good ball into the penalty area. Rossini just moved nicely onto the ball at full pace. He had a yard ahead of Meunier, who couldn't stop him firing his effort across goal. And that's exactly what it did, Nick. It fizzed across goal. No other players up with the play. And it went out of play behind the goal line, about halfway across between the goal and the corner flag.
Yeah, I think it looked a lot closer than it was from our angle, but I had my heart in my mouth for a little while. But got that Aldershot sub coming on now. I just mentioned Tyler Frost coming on to replace James Henry.
Yep, that one makes sense. I don't expect we'll see any positional changes there. Don't ever write off Barnet. 3-1 down at Dagenham. They're back to 3-3 now. Tyler Roberts has been sent off for AFC Fylde in their game this afternoon, away at Braintree, where they're already a goal down.
I think that's a good change for the shot. So Henry's done okay, but Tyler Frost brings a lot more energy, very athletic. So I think it will just give us a bit more lift in there in midfield. Yeah,
Aldershot are going to have to spend probably the majority of the final 22 minutes without the ball, and when they do, now they've got some fresh legs on, they've got some pace, and who knows, the game plan at this point might be to stay tight, out of possession, don't give up too many chances to Gateshead, and try and take a moment on the counter-attack. There's a poor touch from the Gateshead substitute, Josh Williams. Ollie Scott can get onto it and he hooks it forward. It finds touch halfway inside the Gateshead half. Nicky Kabamba on the score sheet.
We've got Josh Barrett down injured.
Josh Barrett's gone down now, and he said that he does need treatment. And one of those situations where I understand the home fans think that he's going down to time waste, but we know from watching Aldershot at 2-2 they wouldn't time waste in this situation. They may not be the better side, but they'll still have a belief that they can win the game, right?
Absolutely, we're not the sort of team to shut up shop, and Hadi Gandor's already stripped to come on, so he must be injured and coming off, so he's not playing on it. And
it's a shame if he has just tweaked something, because he may well have only been a couple of minutes away from coming off anyway. But yeah, Hadi Gandor, the script is written for him. Just the 3 goals this season for shots in the main competitions. I understand he did get one of the 7 on Tuesday at Bashley, which is great news. We can never question his work rate, Hadi Gandor, can we? And sometimes he runs very unselfishly for the team as well, which means that sometimes he's in a more creative position than getting on the end of chances, right?
Absolutely, it's definitely his main attribute for me, I'd say. The way he runs endlessly, he runs the channels, does a lot of work. He hasn't scored the goals, so the goals that, say, we lost last season, he hasn't scored the goals to replace those, but he does a lot of unselfish work.
That's Nick Brooks, I'm Rob Worrell. And we watched an enjoyable game here this afternoon at the Gateshead International Stadium. As it stands, the shots are in possession of a precious point. And I saw Stevie Aspinall wrote on Facebook this morning that he'd take the 0-0 now. It could be better than that at 2-2. But I get where he's coming from, Nick. And I don't think anybody would underestimate, despite the fact it would take Aldershot's run without a win to 1 in 12, that it would be a good and hard-earned point if they can get it. We're into the final 19 minutes and 20 seconds now. And here's Gateshead with Warman on the edge of the penalty area. Sends it out to the right-hand side to Josh Williams. Williams is taking on Ryan Jones. He has a heavy touch. And it's a good positioning from Ollie Scott. And Williams with a heavy touch. Scott gets a little bit of contact with him as the ball crosses the line anyway, and the referee gives. Doesn't really matter whether it's a goal kick or a free kick. It's goal kick, I think he's given from where Dewhurst's placing it down. And plethora of substitutes in the last few minutes. Tommy Widrington using all of his men. You mentioned that you spotted Hayden Vaughan at half time, who travelled with the squad but wasn't ultimately in the in the final 18, which does suggest that it doesn't really suggest that Lackey Bird is fit, does it? I mean, he may have to come on in an emergency as a defender, and they needed him on the bench rather than another attacking player like Vaughan.
Yeah, I had a quick chat with him at half time. He sat down the front in the away end, and he's travelled this way. I think he's a little bit frustrated, but
that's the name of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will have travelled knowing that possibility. Here's Akpan up against Newton. Akpan almost wins the ball, but Newton retrieves. Now Butterfield on the edge of the area gives it back to Newton. Newton back to Booty, and Booty out to the left-hand side, where I think that's Radcliffe who's just pushing forward there. Exchanging passes with Booty. And Gateshead now try the ball in with Booty, and Aseni's there. He's retrieved it, but he's in an offside position. He took it wide anyway, so he'd always got to turn back before he could get an effort on goal. But a sharp linesman or assistant referee brings Aldershot down a free kick, and the clock ticks on to approaching the 73-minute mark. Gateshead 2, Shots 2, and the Shots who took the lead on 11 minutes but found themselves within 20 minutes 2-1 down. 2-1 down at half time, and now 2-2 thanks to Jack Barham. Here's Ollie Scott. Can he get across in from the right? He can. Barham tries a little hooked effort off the outside of his foot, gets a bit of shape towards goal but comes down wide. Smattering of applause away to our left for the effort. You never know where theirs are going to end up. They're always worth a go, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. A really good run there from Ollie Scott. That's the first time he's been able to do that from centre back, in the same way that Ollie Harfield often does when he's in there. But that is definitely an outlet that he gives us that maybe Lucky Bird wouldn't do if he was playing. Here's
Warman in possession. Shots pressing quite high here, and largely able to do that because they've got the likes of Frost and Gandor on. Gandor's now snapping away and won the ball back, and goes all the way back through many yays to Dewhurst. He kicks forward That one's going to find touch. I'd love to make one complete goalkeeper from Dewhurst and Van Stappershoef, and if I did so, I think I'd probably have Van Stappershoef's kicking on the ground, would you? Just a little bit more assured than Dewhurst, but Dewhurst the better shot stopper.
Yeah, I definitely think Dewhurst is the better shot stopper. Since that substitution, I was thinking that maybe Haddy would be up front on his own with Frost and Barham as the two number 10s, but it looks, if anything, like Barham staying up front and it's Haddy Gandor that's dropping in behind. Absolutely,
Barham staying where he's been all day on the last defender, and he profited from being in that position, of course, in the 56th minute when the shots got level through him. Here's a good ball to Whelan, and then really bright play from Menezes, who immediately pokes the ball away from Whelan and all the way back to his goalkeeper.
Well, when we're in possession like this, it almost looks like Gandor and Barham are a front two with Frost as one number 10 behind them. But
Maghoma plays the ball forward, and the ball's on its way towards me and Nick, and the seat comes to our rescue. Maghoma aiming for row Z, metaphorically reached about row D, I think, didn't he? Because there's an athletics track in between. Certainly came fizzing towards us. Gateshead have quickly used one of the other balls on those discs all around the pitch. We'll give an update to our radio listeners shortly. 15 minutes just under to go plus added time, and the shot's currently in possession of a point, but Whelan's getting away down the left now. He's got Menezes for company. He plays it off Menezes, and it will be an attacking throw to Gateshead, level about halfway, or level with the penalty spot out on the left hand side. Dagenham and Redbridge 3, Barnet 4. Comeback complete for Barnet from 3-1 down. Ball into the area from Gateshead, goes straight to Dewhurst, who says thank you very much, and somebody to my left said what's that, and that's about the best commentary you could give to that. Huge ball bouncing awkwardly. Barham's there trying to get it under control inside the penalty area, but he's been out muscled, and Gateshead clear their lines. Ryan Jones fetches himself one of the spare balls, as the ball that went out of play knocked another ball off one of the discs. But Ryan Jones has quickly found another one, because on this occasion Aldershot want the ball back quickly, and Ryan Jones is setting up for a long throw. Widdrington brings Orsini out with him and goes short. In comes the throw, flicked on and up in the air by Menezes. I think it's going to go behind the goal. Can Menezes keep it in? Does the Gateshead player touch it? Yes, he does. Josh Williams, the sub, he fetches the ball, throws it into his goalkeeper, thinking it's a goal kick, but it's a corner to Shots. Just their third of the afternoon. And here we are with 13 minutes left, and Theo Widdrington down on his haunches. I hope he's okay. I'm trying to work out if Aldershot have used 3 or 4 subs so far.
Just the 3, I think.
Yeah, Gandor, Frost and Hargreaves. In comes the corner to the far post. Oh, headed down by Maghoma, but cleared by Gateshead. Only as far as Ollie Scott. He goes backwards to Akpan, gets the ball under his control, sees nothing certain on, and goes back to Dewhurst. And now Dewhurst drills it into the left channel, where Ryan Jones jumps heavily and lands awkwardly. Lands very awkwardly. Big jump, and I'm not sure if it's a throw or a free kick, but it's very harsh on Ryan Jones if he's got a free kick against him as well. I think he's just winded, Nick. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he's just winded. I'm not sure if the ref stopped it because he thought it was a head injury, but I didn't see much of a foul in there, but we'll have to wait and see. But I feel like the further this game is going on, the more it's opening up. So 15-20 minutes ago, Gateshead was still controlling it, but we've got much more of a foothold in the game now, and we are creating chances, so it could go either way.
Yep. Ryan Jones is okay, but he'll have to wait to re-enter the field of play for 30 seconds. 78 minutes gone. Gateshead take their throw in. And Gateshead come over halfway. It's Reece Brown who scored that 4th goal for Barnet, which reminds me of my commentary debut here, where he scored a goal after 26 passes. Aldershot lost that game 3-2. The Gateshead fans demanding a foul, nothing given. Ollie Scott's won it fairly, lost it. In comes Williams into the penalty area, and then again he overruns it and it goes behind for an Aldershot Town goal kick. Yeah, that game, don't know if you were here all that time ago, as Theo Widrington goes down with a bit of cramp now. Yeah, Aldershot scored a goal after some Barcelona-style play with Reece Brown, and it was a cracking game, but it was 3-2 to Gateshead in the end, so we won't draw too many comparisons with that.
Okay, no, I wasn't here. When I joined you on commentary last year, that was my first trip up here, so still carrying on, still holding on to my unbeaten record at the moment.
Yeah, Theo Widrington's up. He didn't need treatment, but he definitely is. Oh, now really generous applause from the home fans for the Shots visiting supporters. I think the number was just given out, but I didn't hear it. Did you?
It was 1180 something.
Yeah.
121.
Thank you. Something like 1180. Don't take my word for it, but about 121 Shots fans. Well done to the 121 red and blue.
Plus me and you.
For all the stick that Gateshead supporters have given Tommy and the team and the supporters and everything, they stood and applauded that number, which was fantastic. Shows appreciation. We're going to do an update for our radio listeners now. Yeah, more substitutes here, and that's really been the story of the last 15 minutes or so since you last joined us, Tim. It is still 2-2, and we're just into the last 10 minutes. Max Mullins is going to come into the fray. Already onto the pitch for Aldershot is Hargreaves, Gandor and Frost. And do you know what? I'm just going to call it straight. It's in the balance, this game. Gateshead still enjoying more of the possession, Tim. But Aldershot have got more legs in them now, more fresh legs, and they do look more dangerous on the counter-attack. And Gateshead haven't been at their cohesive best in this second half. But we well know their ability in front of the goal. The fourth top scorers, of course, in the National League. 2-2, 9 minutes plus added time to go. Nick, Max Mullins on. Who came off, please?
Theo Widrington came off, so we can play the weekly game I like to play now, which is in what position will Maxwell Mullins be playing this week?
I'm sure Frost will drop into the centre of midfield, I'm sure.
Yeah, it looks like Mullins is in the centre of midfield at the moment.
Oh, he is at the moment. I think you're right. Yeah, Frost is also at the back there. Ball down the left for Gateshead. And it's Newton up against Menace, who's battling well and got a foot in and won the ball, and Akpan has got it. He's not got far to go. Plays it off the Gateshead player into the path of Menace. Menace clears it forward up towards Gandor, who manages to control it. Is he then fouled? Yes, he is. Just inside the Gateshead half. He's won a free kick for the Shots, who could take it quickly, or they could send up the big guns from the back. Well, they're certainly going to send forward Maghoma, and Menace looks slightly slightly more reluctant, but he eventually goes as well. And now Ollie Scott and the free kick taker Ashley Akpan are the deepest Shots players.
I think the way the team panned out there when the play was open, it did look like Frost has dropped back into midfield and Mullins has gone more into the number 10 role.
The free kick's played forward. It's taken quite easily by Gateshead, but won well by Ryan Jones. He's to the edge of the penalty area now, drills it across, and four players in there from Aldershot, but they all ran ahead of the ball and he pulled it back. So frustrating, really, that they couldn't create a chance from that. And now Warman comes forward and plays a Sinian on the right hand side of the penalty area, tries to chop back on his left foot. Ashley Akpan comes over and his pace gets the block in. He can't stop it going from behind from a corner. I think we're going to have a roller coaster last 10 minutes or so. It's 7 now plus added time. Both these sides aren't happy with the point. They both want to try and get a win. Will we get a late winner for either side? Regan Booty's going to take the corner, left-footed, low into the near post. Weak effort from Whelan, straight to Dewhurst. Good move, a la Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool in that European game, you know, when he's shaped like he wasn't going to take the corner kick, and then he took it. He saw the run, and Whelan ghosted onto it, but he couldn't find the finish.
Yeah, it's developed into a really good game now. It's really end-to-end. Both teams looking to go and win it, so it's going to be an exciting end.
Certainly is Ollie Scott playing the ball down the left side, taken nicely in his stride by Jack Barham, who's one-on-one against his man. He's going to send a cross in here from the right. That's headed away by Tinkler. And then Gander arrives a little bit late. Free kick given against him for a slightly late challenge on Tinkler inside the box. And in the National League, well, Oldham at home to Tamworth and Solihull away at Ebbsfleet are having a bit of a party. Josh Kay with a 4th for Oldham, Connor Wilkinson with a 5th for Solihull Moors. Aldershot have cut out possession again from Gateshead. Ryan Jones lifting the ball down the left side, and that's been cut out. And now Josh Williams comes forward, plays the ball into Warman. Warman goes back to Booty. Booty to Bellahan. They're giving it away again. Scott finds Mullins. Mullins across from the midfield to Gander on the right hand side. He's up against Radcliffe to the right edge of the area. Tries to get a cross in. That's cut out. I think everybody in this ground would tell you Gateshead bossed the first half. I think both sets of supporters would agree it's been pretty even, hasn't it, in the second half? It's been a bit end to end. And Kean Adom should have put this game to bed in the first half, shouldn't he? But he didn't, and we've got 5 minutes left. Aldershot with an attacking throw. Ryan Jones is going to take it. Don't laugh, we were agreeing with each other. You know, it was all agreement. And we're sat in here amongst the Gateshead fans, having a good laugh with them. In comes the throw. It's flicked on. Header down towards goal by Mullins, I think. And at the second attempt, Mason gets it under control. It was straight at him. I have to say, Nick, it's one of those, if he heads it either side, that's a goal. Yeah, it was a decent header from Mullins. He did everything right, headed it down, but just too close to the keeper. He looked like he fumbled it, like you said. He didn't get it the first attempt, but unfortunately there was no one in there close enough to get the rebound, so he did get hold of it. He's then taken a quick goal kick straight out of play, so it's straight back to our possession. Shot's doing well from the long throw there, getting the flick on, getting the first ball, getting the second ball. The ball's now in touch over on the far side, just inside the Gateshead half. Gateshead have got themselves a throw in. And I think they just announced the Gateshead man of the match, but I didn't hear it, who it was. Nick, you get to name the Aldershot Town man of the match today, so get thinking about that with 4 minutes plus added time to go. Here's 2x shots, Tinkler and Booty in their own half, playing the ball out to the left side. Bit of a bobble on the pitch, but it continues in the line it was on to its man. Booty's got it in a bit of a quarterback position at the moment, plays it out to the left hand side to Newton. He's being well shackled by Akpan, and then Gandor and Hargreaves and Menayace will push and press, and Aldershot will fancy they'll probably be able to create one more chance in these last 4 minutes plus added time. Gateshead will feel they probably can create one or two as well. Otherwise it's going to end on as even and 2-2. Here's Maghomer lifting the ball up in the air. Hargreaves battling for it, but he's losing out on this occasion. Good 1-2, and Menayace battling strong out to the left touchline. Gets a foot in, and he wins the throw in as well. And the fourth official's going to, I think Gateshead possibly going to make another substitution before the 90 minutes are up. Heed Army from our right. The odd shout from the Shots fans too. 121 of them, we believe. A yellow card to Ashley Akpan, presumably for time wasting. Taking too long to take the throw, Nick? Look, strange one really, because the Roland Menayace has got the ball in his hand about to take the throw in. So I beg your pardon. It was. Yeah, it's Menayace. It's Menayace, not Akpan. It did look like he showed the card to Akpan, but it was Menayace holding the ball. So. Yeah, good shout. Let's go to my yellow card count now and just see where Roland is. And he's now got 5 as well. Just had a correction to our attendance. So, hang on.
It's 1,342 total, with 113 away. Thanks to each and every one of you.
113 away fans. It's increased by 1.
100 and what?
113.
Oh, okay. Apparently it was. Well, I got the original figure wrong. The overall crowd's 1,314. There's 113 Shots fans.
I'm not expecting too much injury time here. We've had a lot of substitutions, but there's not really been any injuries or any stoppages.
Well, back in the day, they used to give 30 seconds per substitution, didn't they? But if they did that now, they'd be doing the double figures like they did at the beginning of last season. 1,181 was the initial confirmed attendance, Mike Brown, but it's now been corrected, and it's 1,300 and something. The Heed fans are telling their goalkeeper to get on with it. He eventually kicks it forward, bounces once, and then Ryan Jones tries to keep the ball in play after Maghoma's header. He can't do so. The throw-in's taken on halfway, played back to Mr. Movember himself, Robbie Tinkler. If he could only have a perm, he'd look the spit of Terry McDermott, he really would, but it's the number 23 that Gateshead substitute, 23-21. They try and play a ball through from Whelan, but it's been cut out by Ryan Jones. He tries to feed Frost, who plays it forward to Barham. Barham gets it under control. The ball's just gone out of play, frustratingly for the Shots. They've given it away again, Gateshead, and Jones floats the ball forward. It's going to go all the way through to the Gateshead goalkeeper. Apparently Jade says she can't come down. She jumped too high onto the roof when Jack scored. I know that she's a great supporter of Jack and of Aldershot Town. See her at almost every home game. Can the Shots come back with a point or more today? Here's Gateshead on the edge of the penalty area. Shots get a foot in. Follow-up shot. Gets a deflection on it off Maghoma, who bravely goes in. And the ball deflects and goes back to Dewhurst, who's got the ball. He's pounced down. And in amongst all the excitement, I've missed the added time, Nick. We're
four added minutes.
4 added minutes, and we're 40 seconds into it. So the Shots are 3 minutes and 15 seconds away, minimum, from a point up at Heed, having taken the lead and come from behind. Ball forward, Gandil battling away from it. Now, Shots player's gone down. It is Jack Barham. He's won a free kick as well. He's holding his head, so the referee will just want to check that he's okay. And Aldershot will have a late set piece. And Nick, I've been critical of some of the attacking set pieces today and other days where they have been a bit wasteful, a silly offside or a foul in the box. Mullins comes over to Tommy Widrington for an instruction.
Jack Barham's all right, he's up. Just in case Jade is listening, he's up on his feet, he's okay.
Jack's okay. He's just rubbing that head of his, but he's fine. He's going to be in the box, hoping to get on the end of Ryan Jones' free kick here. It's almost level with the edge of the penalty area on the left side, and it's about 30 yards out from goal. It's definitely not going to be a shot. He's going to lift a ball in left-footed to around about the penalty spot area. We're coming up to 92 minutes out of a minimum of 94. In comes the ball. Oh, offside flag. Brilliant save anyway. Maghoma connected. Mason saved. And the offside flag went up. And Aldershot have wasted another set piece, Nick.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a save by the keeper or if it came off the post, to be honest.
Oh, right.
But either way, the flag was up. But yeah, into the final 2 minutes now, and like we said a little while ago, it still is end to end. Neither team have settled for a point here. Both still going for the win.
Good atmosphere here today. Best part of 1,350 fans. Ball forward, bounces once, going through to Dewhurst. I don't know how it's going to end. There's a matter of seconds left, 90 or so, Nick. But I've got to call it as I see it. And as the games wore on, it's actually Aldershot who've looked the more likely to score a winner. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree, yeah. I think, like I said, Gateshead controlled the start of the second half. Aldershot have come more and more into the game as it's gone on.
Dewhurst kicks forward. Tinkler volleys back. Taken down by the chest of Oseni. Comes up against the tackle, but he's lost it. And Williams is there. Maghoma dives in and connects with the ball, not the man. Thank goodness. He's of course on a yellow since the first half. We're into the last of the 4 added minutes. The throw-in's taken. Booty's going to send the ball into the area. Again Maghoma clears. Again Tinkler sends it forward. It's air shot from Scott as he tries to volley clear, but the next man on the scene is Ryan Jones. He sends it forward. Gandor chases. Bradshaw tries to play it back to his keeper and he just gets enough on it. If it was an intended back pass, should it have been a free kick? No appeals, but anyway, Gateshead have got the ball. Gandor was the man pressing. We got 12 seconds of added time left. The shot's seconds away from a precious point, coming from behind, away to the side placed fourth in the table before the start of play. Ball out to the left, headed on by Whelan. Assini chases it down, holds it up. Aldershot win it. They've lost the ball. Now Hargreaves comes away with it. Can Aldershot stay on side? Can they keep the ball? Hargreaves muscles inside, plays the ball in forward. Is that the final whistle? Yes, it is. And frustration in the ground is from the home supporters, Nick. The Shots have done an excellent job, particularly in the second half. And they've got themselves a point. And while they take a full-time report from Crawley in League One, give us your thoughts on the game today. All the best, fella. Thank you very much. Yeah, and your Aldershot Town man of the match, please.
It was a really good game. I thought it was end-to-end second half. First half, Gateshead dominated. They missed that chance. Could have gone 3-1 up. But second half was really good end-to-end. The Shots came into it more and more as it went on, and we really did have chances to win it. Man of the match, I think he's not my choice, but a quick honorary mention for Ollie Scott. He got out-jumped for the first goal quite early on, and his head could have gone down, but he stuck at it, and he had a decent second half. It's a tough choice. I'm not sure there's anyone that massively stands out, but I probably think just for the fact that he assisted the first goal with an unselfish square pass, then got the equaliser in the second half, I think I'd just edge towards Jack Barham.
Yeah, Jack Barham, Tetek played his part in the game as well, and I must admit, a young man who hasn't put a foot wrong for Aldershot Town, and he's had to be patient, he's had to wait for his chance, and it's through adversity of the skipper Aaron Jones. But I thought Ashley Akpan deserves a mention as well. Showed the willingness to get forward and play his part in creating that equalising goal. So well done Aldershot Town, well done Ashley Akpan, Jack Barham, and Nick Brooks. Man of the match is Jack Barham. Post-match to come from Tommy Widrington and hopefully a member of the playing staff. You may hear one of those on the BBC Surrey sports programme this afternoon, otherwise look out for it on X. But well done Aldershot Town, a point on the road at Gateshead, and we'll update our radio listeners now, and then we'll look at the final scores. Any final words while they do the FA Trophy games?
Yeah, I think one slight concern, which Tommy's just leaving the pitch now to like pantomime boos from the...
He's holding three fingers up. I'm not sure what he meant by that.
But yeah, just one concerning... the rest of the players coming off now. But yeah, one concerning thing that you mentioned earlier, just Menzies and Macoma both picking up their fifth booking of the season, which means if we're right by our calculations, they will both be missing for the Altrincham game next week.
Yeah, good point. They could well be without Menzies and Macoma next weekend. And I'm going to do a report to radio now, and then we'll settle ourselves down for the post-match. Well, they're going to the FA Trophy games, so I'll just look at a few full-time scores elsewhere today in the National League. Some of these games are still being played. You've got 90 plus 7s and 8s and all sorts, but Altrincham 2, Southend 0, Braintree 1, Fylde 0, Fylde down to 10 men. Dagenham Redbridge 3, Barnet 4, Reece Brown with potentially the winning goal there. Ebbsfleet 0, Solihull Moors 5, and what I failed to point out is that Solihull have been down to 10 men from the 5th minute of the game. James Clark sent off. So when Jez Davis went off on 42, they had 10 men each, and as soon as they were down to 10, that's when Solihull scored 4 more times. What else have we got? Sutton 1, Maidenhead United 0, Woking 1, Boston 0, Hartlepool 0, Eastleigh 0, Wealdstone 2, Rochdale 0, continuing Wealdstone's fine form of late, and Yeovil 0, FC Halifax Town 1, which means Halifax will replace them in the playoff positions. Yeovil with a player Jake Wannell sent off late on in that one. A quick look at the National League live table. if results stay as they are, then Aldershot, despite picking up a point today, will actually drop a place, and that's because Woking are heading for a win, and they'll be going up to 17th with 20 points. Aldershot, though, will be just a point clear of the bottom 4, in which Wealdstone have popped out of it now and sit just a point behind them with 18 points. Thanks for joining us this afternoon around the country and around the world. I appreciate some of you will be signing off now. I can't go just yet because we've still got to do a report to radio. Thanks, says Mike Brown. Fantastic listen. Thanks, Rob and Nick. Most definitely a point gained. Woking have beaten Boston, so they will go above Shotts, and Shotts will drop one place in the National League table this afternoon. And delighted to hear that my mother tuned in at half-time at 2-1 down and has actually heard a half in which Aldershot scored and the opposition didn't. Thanks for listening, Mum. That's Anne Worrell and Tony Worrell. Love you both. Long journey back for me and their other son Patrick on the train, but not quite as long for us back to Cambridgeshire as it is for those heading back to North East Hampshire. They did indeed, and do you know what, Tim, in all honesty, in the last 10-12 minutes they had more fresh legs on and they looked the more likely side to score. There was one big chance, ball came in and Max Mullins on as a sub in one of the more forward positions, he got his head on it, and I'm telling you now, either side of Owen Mason, the Gateshead goalkeeper, and it would have been a winner for Shotts, it went straight at him and Mason still fumbled it but gathered it at the second attempt. After that, Homer arrived and made contact with the ball, and that either came back off the keeper or the upright, but in any case he was given offside, so they couldn't find a late winner. But they do pick up a precious point away from home to a top 5 side with the 3rd best home record in the National League, and right now with defenders not available as well, that's a decent point for Shotts. We think, Tim, to be confirmed, that next weekend they might be without Homer and Menayace as well, because I think they've picked up their 5th yellow cards this afternoon, so heaven knows which 3 players we might see in Aldershot's back 3 next weekend. But they got a point up at the Heed. Final score, Gateshead 2, Shotts 2. I think so, yes. Yes is the answer. 4 words. Yes. Okay. Listeners are going to sign off now. I'm not sure if Tommy Woodridge is ready to do his post-match because he's already at the bottom of the tunnel. I'll just check. We may well take it live if he does. Well done, Tommy. You going in or do you want to come up? Yeah. It's the manager, yeah, he's coming up, yeah. He's going to come up now, yeah. But you can doorstep it if you like. Is it for the NLP, is it, or not? Yeah. That's all right. Well done, sir. Well done. Let's find that man a microphone. He's sitting down with us, which is great. Just checking this mic. No, let's use yours, Nick. Thank you. I've been joined very, very quickly by the Aldershot town manager, Tommy Widrington, which is good news for us both because we've got a long journey home. Tommy, if you could just hold that to your mouth, that'd be great. It's a point up at Heed, and for me, I watched quite a transformation of that game in the second half. Half-time itself probably couldn't have come soon enough for you to make a few tweaks, could it? But your side showed so much character in the second half, got back in it, and very easily could have been the side that went on to win it.
I think when you come to Gateshead, you've got to accept they're a very good possession-based side, and as many teams in the division have the ball at their feet as much as they do. And I just felt, with everything in all the circumstances that we arrived at getting to the game, I felt that we had to be, sort of hit them on a counter-attack more than go out full out at them from the beginning of the game. Obviously it worked when we went 1-0 up. If I've got anything, disappointment's not a word I want to use today, but if I've got any disappointment, it's the manner of the second goal, because it's something we talked about literally before we went out the door, and you know, they get people into pockets of the pitch where it's very difficult to know who should or who is marking them. And he skipped past a couple of players too easily for me, and ended up getting, you know, a shot off at goal from inside the box. So that was the only disappointment. But the lads, I thought tactically, I thought we were spot on. I thought we were a better side in the second half. We looked more attacking, and we looked more punchy, to be honest with you. They're going to get in with dribblers and individual ability, but we got our chances and created our moments with really good counter-attacking football.
Absolutely. Tremendous support today as well, and I have to say, for all the stick and the banter that goes on with the Heed fans, and we all know why that is, a lot of them stood and applauded when they announced 113 or so Aldershot Town fans. You don't underestimate that journey, do you? Because you made it yourself.
No, I don't. I mean, it makes me laugh. I think the Heed fans think I'm from the south because they call me a soft southern whatever. But I'm actually from about 4 miles from here. Anyway, I think the Shots fans, listen, they're brilliant. I mean, there was over 100 at Bashley in the New Forest the other night for the Hans Senior Cup game. And for 100 not to come up here, listen, we really appreciate their support. Like we do every game, we always go and show them, you know, they are the football club, the fans, and if they back us like they do, you know, win, lose or draw, that's what they do. And we, like I always say, any team that I have ever managed, I would like to think that they play for the badge on the front, not the name on the back. Absolutely.
We'll kind of make this question a little bit looking ahead, really, towards next week, back at the EBB at home to Altrincham. The Shots fans will be concerned, Tommy, about defensive availability. Could you enlighten us today about Lackey Burden? Was it a tactical thing, or was he just carrying? And then also, needs to be confirmed, but we suspect that maybe Christian and Rowling may have picked up their 5th yellows this afternoon.
Well, I wouldn't know that until the secretary tells me. So that's we understand that. It's that time of the year where people do get to about 5 yellow cards. And look, it's part of the game. And you know, if somebody's not available, we have to pick somebody else. It's as simple as that. I think today Ollie Scott's played at left centre half, much like I used to play Ollie Harfield there, and I thought he was excellent. I mean, he's 5'11", 5'10", but he looked like a bloke out there to me today, and I thought, you know, we've got a really good group here. We've got a really good bunch of lads. They want to do well for the club, and I think that as the game went on and on and on, I just felt that we were the team that looked more likely to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've mentioned so often about the use of your whole squad and how they'd all have to play a part, and that's largely proven to be the case, and it'll be more so, you know, when these 5th yellow cards do tot up, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in having a squad if you're not going to use them. So last season we got into a groove with about 13 or 14 players, of which 8 or 9 played very, very regularly. But there was a little bit of, you know, in and out in the peripheries of the side. It's different this year, and I've said that to the people upstairs. I think our squad is deeper. And you know, you can't keep pulling diamonds out the dirt. We've got some really good young talented footballers at our club, I think, and they're getting better, and that kind of game there shows me their mentality is turning, because I think a little bit early on in the season they might well have crumbled with having been in the lead and then gone 2-1 down. We showed a little bit of fire in our belly, I thought, to respond and score a deserved equaliser.
And just final question on Altrincham then, ahead of next week. They're starting to go through the gears, aren't they, this season? They didn't have the best of starts, but they were there or thereabouts. They've beaten Southend 2-0 this afternoon, I can tell you. And under Phil Parkinson, he's actually one of the most respected managers, isn't he, in this division now?
Good manager. Listen, everybody in this division, they've got their own way of playing. Gateshead have theirs, Altrincham have theirs, but they're never an easy opponent. We had very close games with them, as we did with Gateshead last season, funnily enough, and I expect the same again next weekend. I mean, look, I always reflect on games for a day or two once they've been played, and as much as there was a lot of furore after the Wealdstone defeat, I've looked back at that game, and until that penalty decision, we were right in the game, you know, and it's moments like that can change the path of a game. So we've got to make sure, like we did today, we do enough, we work hard enough, and we show enough quality that we make the game go our way.
Absolutely, and I just want to pass on to those still listening in. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Tommy for coming up so quickly, and great to see the Shots getting amongst the goals again. Safe journey home, Tommy. Thank you. All the best. That's it then, listeners. We'll sign off here, and any post-match we get with any Aldershot Town players, we'll post that on Twitter for you. Thanks for joining us, or X as it's now called. And Nick, final thanks is to you. 2 commentaries of Aldershot and unbeaten. How does that feel?
Yeah, good. Maybe I should do it more often. But no, I enjoyed it again. So yeah, it's been good.
Okay, well, I think he did okay, listeners, and to be honest, even if you weren't any good, just the fact that Aldershot have not lost when you've done it, the supporters would want you to get the gig again for sure.
Yeah,
Thanks for.
I don't think anyone else wants to come up as far up north as Gateshead, so maybe I'll wait for the call every year.
Exactly. Right, we're going to begin our long journeys home, listeners. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, and we'll speak to you again from the EBB, God willing, next Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff, when 18th place Aldershot will take on Altrincham, I think might have just popped up into a playoff position this afternoon. Good afternoon.